Okay, it has been a long time since we have discussed concerning the poetry analysis in this YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about a poem called I'm Becoming My Mother. First of all, we need to understand who is the writer. The writer of this poem, I'm Becoming My Mother, is called Lorna Goodison. We have to know who is Lorna Goodison. Lorna Goodison is a female, a Jamaican poetess who was born on the 1st of August 1947. Apart of being a poetess, she is an essayist, memoirist, and painter. That is her favorite activity. Before embarking on poetry, she was a painter. She has received a number of awards and prizes that comes as a result of the great work she's doing on writing different poems and contribution in literature as far as concerned. Many poems that she writes normally cutting across the theme of Jamaican culture, including the struggle and the challenge that Jamaican people are facing. Especially she embarks on praising women with their great role they are performing at home and marketplace. She has written a number of poems, including Supplying Salt and Light, Controlling the Sea River, Mother and the King of Swords, A Memo of My Mother and Her People, I'm Becoming My Mother, that was written in 1986, and so many other poems. For now, Lorna Goodison, she is working as a professor of emerita at the University of Michigan. So till now she continues writing and she continues composing many poems. Our great focus for today would be based on the poem that called I'm Becoming My Mother, as I have said at the beginning. First of all, I will start by reciting the poem I'm Becoming My Mother by Lorna Goodison. Yellow or brown woman, fingers smelling always of onions. My mother raises rare brooms and waters them with tea. Her bathroom waters sang like rivers. My mother is now me. My mother had a linen dress, the color of the sky, and stored lace and damask, tablecloths, to pull shame out of her eye. The last stanza, I'm becoming my mother, brown and yellow woman, fingers smelling always of honey. When you read to this poem, you will understand a number of issues that are being discussed in this poem. Before we have not gone far, I want to take you to this poem, analyzing one verse and another. Starting with the first verse, the first stanza, that is yellow, brown woman, fingers smelling always of onions. The meaning of this verse, the speaker starts with a picture of her mom, that's a yellow brown woman, that is to mean her skin is yellow and brown. So sometimes it's the call for the identity, the color of her mother. finger smelling of onions, that is to mean the activity that is doing as a woman, she is cooking, so perhaps she cannot be far away from the onions. This is a working everyday woman, activity that a woman is working every day. Her hands carry the smell of the feeding her family. It is not glamorous, but a real. The second stanza, my mother raises rare brooms and water them with tea. Her bath water is sung like rivers. My mother is now me. In this poem, a persona calls and try to identify mom had two sides. The first one is the way she did hard work, but she always grew rare blooms. Beautiful, delicate things. She cared for them, even using tea, as you can see, has mentioned about it. Not just water, base water sang like rivers. Giving birth to her was powerful, life-giving. Later line is a turn. My mother is now me. Now she has become the mother. Me, the habit and all the occupations that was done by her mother at the beginning now is being done by herself. The speaker realizes she is turning into her mother. She inherited that myth of the toughness and care. Stanza number 3. My mother had a linen dress, the color of the sky, and the stone lace and damask tablecloths to pull shame out of her eye. When you read these verses in the third stanza, you understand that even though life was hard, mom kept beauty and pride. A sky blue linen dress plus what she has mentioned of the tablecloths she saved. This all the causes was put to pull the shame of her eyes. Means she used those nice things to feel dignified, to hide embarrassment about being poor or overlooked. Means the nature of life they are living is a poor. They are living a very, very worse life. Simple tack. She protected herself respect with a small beautiful things. Although she had few clothes, although she was not rich, but she kept herself smart and respectful to the fact that she was avoiding embarrassment from the society. The last stanza that I'm becoming my mother, brown, yellow woman, finger smelling always of onions. In this stanza, a persona or a poet has finalized. The poem cycles back to the start. The speaker accepts it now. Now you can see the way she is accepting the fact that she has become her mother, and the activity that her mom performed is now she has started doing the same. She's becoming her mom, means same skin, same onions smelled on the hands, but now it is not just observations, it is understanding. Now she has realized that she has become mother in terms of the skin and other obligations that her mom performed. The onion smell went from just cooking to meaning now she is caring, also working the diligence, strength. You can see she's providing also love. She is carrying her mom forward in her. Oh, this is a poem you understand that it's about realizing you have grown into your mom. The way you realize from the point of view, you understand that Lorna Goodison as a woman is the one who is speaking this poem. So perhaps the one who is speaking this poem is Dora, who is referring to her mom in terms of behavior and every approach. After covering the poems, we can attempt some of the questions that will be asked in the examination. For example, the first one is, what is the poem about? When you analyze the whole poem, you understand that the poem is about a daughter realizing she is turning into her mother. She notices the same looks, habits, and values in herself that her mom had. So you can support this under text support that my mother is now me and I'm becoming my mother. My mother is now me and I'm becoming my mother. On the second stanza, the last verse, my mother is now me. My mother is now me. She is realizing that the behavior that her mom possessed, also she is possessing the same behavior and habit, the way she is caring and diligent about that concern. The second question you may be asked is, which type of poem is this? Which type of poem is this? With a physical outlook, you may comment that this poem is a free verse poem or modern poem simply because, first of all, it has not followed the regulations and the rules of writing the poems. You can see there are 4 stanzas and number of verses are not the same. For example, the first stanza, it has got 2 verses only. The second stanza has got 4 verses only. The same applies on the third stanza, it has 5 verses, and the last stanza has got 3 verses. So there is a variation of the number of verses in each stanza. On top of that, also, the length of each stanza to another, they are varying. That's a fact remains that this proves this poem is a free verse poem. A poetess was free writing about it. Another question you may be asked is to comment about the tone and the mood of a poem. Actually, when you read this poem, you understand that the tone is reflective and accepting. Reflective and accepting. Why? Because the speaker, when you read about it, you understand that a speaker is not angry. Is not angry. It is reflecting the behavior that a mother used to have, and she is accepting the fact that also she is becoming like her mother. That is how you can notice about it. And in terms of the mood is, of course, you can say it is normal, it is happy. Also, the mood is well stiff or warm, is okay. It makes you feel that bittersweet, what you can say, maybe a nostalgic. You feel like you are paining, but if you are not paining. The obligation that your mom performed, like smelling the onions on the hands, means she engaged in cooking, engaged in love and caring. Now that activity has become to the Dora who is explaining that she is now in that position. That mother is now me. So a little bit she is bitter, but just normal, happy. So we can talk about she's bittersweet. She is receiving a bittersweet taste. Oh, I'm like my mom now. Just is feeling like she's becoming mom. We may exemplify the textual support that my mother is now me. Shows acceptance, not a complaint. Also, when you read another poem, another question, you may be asked to comment on who is the persona of the poem. Actually, I was said before that persona is Theodora. Is Theodora who is the one speaking the poem. She's the one talking about her mom and herself. I'm becoming my mother. The I is Theodora. Is Theodora who is speaking about it. Also, other questions you may be asked is to analyze the literary devices that found in the poem. Perhaps I remind many people that when you are analyzing the literary devices, make sure you support with your text. Make sure you quote, you explain, and you quote. You mention the literary devices. If you are able, you have to define about it. You explain what does it talks about, and also you have to give evidence or your proof or textual support from the poem itself. For example, the first uh, literary devices that I see here with the normal observations is repetition. You can see repetition. The first and the last lines repeat show the cycle of becoming a mother. Yet finger smelling always of onions appears at the start, and also when you see also at the end of the poem also there is the same verses. It's repetition. Also another is imagery. Imagery is seen in the poem that are mental pictures. When you read from the verses, you understand that you create some mental pictures in your mind. For example, the smelling onions, obviously you smell, so there is an olfactory image that you see in the poem. So we have other images that can be seen or observable. Yellow brown woman. So the color of mother is being seen. That's a visualization imagery can be seen over there. And you can infer is comment in the other poem. Another is metaphor. Just when you check about the poem, you understand there is a metaphor. Compare things without using conjunction. For example, say, her bath waters sang like rivers. Bass is compared to rivers like power. So that's the fact that metaphor is been seen over there, especially on the second stanza, verse number 3. You can see metaphor over there. We have symbolism, onions. Onions in that poem, smelling onions, is a symbol that hard working and daily care that a mother had toward children and a family as far as concerned. Also, we have seen the word tea. Tea here is been given as a gentle, and what I them with a tea. That is gentle care, gentle care. Text, water them with the tea, means tea symbolizes soft and careful love, the way a mother is caring to the children, the way a mother is caring to the family. That's the way it's expressing the symbolism. Also, we can when we observe in this poem, you want to see the enjambment is there. Lines line on without stopping. There are so many lines are lining on without stopping. When you observe the poem, check on the third stanza. My mother had a linen dress, the color of the sky, and stored lace and damask tablecloths to pull shame out of her eye. When you observe it might be required to be the same single line, but many lines continue breaking and going on, keep running without even a stop. This tendency is called enjambment. Is called enjambment. But also we have iteration. You can see iteration in here. You can see iteration. For example, in the second verse, the second stanza, last verse, my mother is now me. So look on the M in my, M in mother, and me. There is M over there. So those in the repetition of identical consonant sound at the beginning of the consecutive phrase. So that is iteration as far as concerned. It has been used to give out the power and to beautify the poem itself. So we can check others. Use your friend, you may think, and try to identify other devices. If you check if there is assonance there, so you have to check. If there is consonance also, you have to check. Yes, of course, there is consonance. And you are the brown woman, NN at the end of the consecutive line, you will see that also there is a consonant. Think about other, for example, I'm becoming my mother. The word or, the sound, the vowel or, and or in mother, that is assonance, repetition of vowel sound. All these are the same. But also you can be asked to discuss about the themes. I have seen the poem and identify that we have so many themes. And the first theme we can observe here is the issue of inheritance. That's the main theme. That now a child has inherited the attribute, the habit, the look, and all the obligations that were done by mother. Now she's doing. That's the inheritance. We carry traits from our parents. Of course, I'm becoming my mother means she has carried all the traits and habits of parent who is a mother. Another is the motherhood. Another is motherhood, or we can talk about mother-daughter bond. That is the bond. The connection that grows at your age. Text my mother is now me. That is motherhood. That any daughter will grow one day and become a woman. And as a woman, you cannot learn out of the responsibility of becoming a mother. That is the fact. Though we have in recent days, we have so many girls that are learning from their responsibility. You will find a woman who is just a real woman, just some elders, but they are still the same. They are decent. They are wearing. They are learning away, for example, in the street. They appear as young stars, and we as generation, we have nothing to imitate from them. That is something that is bad. So the poem has called upon the women that when they become at the age of becoming mother, they have to really care about the family, including caring them, preparing food for them. That's so important so that they can copy to them. Their daughters, they can copy to them. Also, we have work and care, or hard working is there. Moms, that's mother, do daily unseen activities. Finger smelling always of onions. That will say we have so many activities that is women are doing and sometimes are seen or unseen, but so it's a gender that we have to respect it so much. Another is the beauty in hard life. The beauty in hard life. You may see the way a mother is living, that she knows exactly that she is poor, but she uses it to care some of the items so as to be worn in public in order not to reveal the way she, the state of being poor. Finding dignity in a small things, the linen dress, the color of the sky, that's a fact. Another is the poverty, of course, you can see in the poverty there, the whole poem, the way a person is explaining the life of this family. It seems that a mother was living a very poor life, but she never lost her dignity. Another is the identity, of course. Identity, figuring out who you are through your family. Yellow, brown, woman. That's the identity. You have to know who you are in your family in terms of your color, comprehension, and others. Other also we have acceptance. Acceptance that you have to agree that now you have really reached at the age at which you have to reach. Of course, this poem when I was reading, I have understand that even I personally, I have to learn that sometimes you have to accept the fact that you are a person whom you have responsibility. You need to care for some responsibilities, making peace with who you have become. For example, I'm becoming my mother said at the end calmly, now if you have become your mother, all the activities that performed by mother, you have to learn about it, whether your mother is pleasant or your mother is not pleasant. So you have to learn because one day you will have your own family, you will have your own children, inshallah, if you received. Also, all these are things that you have to imitate and being perceived. Very nice. Also, we have a question that will be asked about the messages of the poem. So many poems that so many messages you can be seen. A mother's daily work is a form of love. A mother's daily work is a form of love. With a message that you can see here. Also, keeping dignity matters even in hard times. You have to keep dignity matters. Keep dignity even in hard time. Don't lose your dignity simply because you are passing in a hard time like poverty. You have to keep your dignity. Also, beauty and strength can exist together is something that I have learned from here. That she does just layer brooms and onions cooking. Oh, this is beauty and strength can exist together. That's so important. But you have to finalize by thinking, is this poem relevant to your society? When you are discussing about the relevance, you have to understand that even you have to survey to your society. Is there some people in your society who have completely taken over the obligation of their mothers, their care in terms of love, habit, and the looks? Check, read the poem, survey the content, and prove to your society. If the poem is relevant, you have to comment, yes, the poem is relevant. Why? Why is it relevant? You have to explain. Thank you for listening so much, guys, and I love you so much. My name is Sefania Mbuba. We shall be together in the analysis of other poems. Don't forget to subscribe in this poem so as to be the first one in receiving the latest content. Thank you so much.